welcome to Dublin, as they say in Ireland as well. Hello and welcome here to the UEFA Europa League final preview show. I did one last year covering Sevilla and Roma. This time we will be covering Ladea versus Bayer Neverlosen. That is what we will be doing today as well. Yeah. But here we are. I can't believe that we're going to be in the European final positions where we are genuinely... The European season is about to end in 3 weeks when that Champions League final is held at Wembley between Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid. That will be the end of European football for a year. And who knows, my team might not be even... My team, Manchester United, might not even be in Europe. So I need to enjoy these moments whilst it lasts, as they say. But yeah, I mean, hello and welcome to the Europa League final preview show, I suppose. And it is held for the first time since Porto v Braga at Dublin. Dublin Arena, Aviva Stadium, whatever you like to call it, round here. We are here. Atalanta, Gian Piero Gasperini versus the young tactical maestro of Xabi Alonso that has to have 2 more wins until that undefeated season. Who knows? Will it happen? Let's find out. But first of all, let me talk to you about this Europa League final here in Dublin. Right, so here we are at the beautiful looking Aviva Stadium. Personally, I do really like this stadium. I mean, I understand there is a little bit of a stand right there, but I do think it is one of the best stadiums in the world. I do like the stadium a lot. So, obviously about this Europa League final, Bayer Leverkusen versus Atalanta. Atalanta are in superb form right now. Basically, after the Liverpool result, they've been sky high, rocketing. Well, in the league, they currently occupy a Champions League spot, and it will be confirmed that they will be in the UEFA Champions League next season. So, yeah, for Atalanta, they're doing alright. But on the other hand, we have Bayer Leverkusen, who are without a shadow of a doubt probably the best team, one of the best teams in the world. And they are. I mean, they walked over the Bundesliga, and that is Bayer Leverkusen walking over the Bundesliga. That isn't like Bayern Munich, don't you forget. That is tiny little Bayer Leverkusen, who's just gone there and walked out of the house and made its own way, and it's ended up living in a big story mansion because, well, the big person, Bayern Munich, kicked him out. Look at him now, Bayern. Look at them now. They are a force to be reckoned with without a shadow of a doubt. And obviously you've got loads of players in there like Florian Wirtz, Granit Xhaka, Victor Boniface, who I personally know. Well, I don't personally know him, I just predicted his future. So, yeah, you've got them 3 players, obviously, that are doing wonders there for Bayer Leverkusen. There's obviously much more behind it. I mean, we obviously know the midfield of Robert Andrich, and I know a lot of people didn't know about Robert Andrich before, but now they know how good Robert Andrich is to a team. They know that he can be a little leader. He can be a little leader on that pitch. He will go wherever. He will go pass the ball wherever. And he is a very creative spark there for Bayer Leverkusen's team. And yeah, obviously you've got Patrick Schick, who obviously scores that last minute goal for fun. Talk about Heart Attack FC. They are the complete opposite of Heart Attack FC. They are in fact the delightful FC. How you know that even if we are 2-0 down, 2-1 down, they will win the game. That is what we know there with Bayer Leverkusen and the tactical genius of Xabi Alonso. But obviously, a final is a final, and that is what Atalanta will be thinking. Bayer Leverkusen are huge favourites to beat Atalanta. We obviously do know they have 2 games left until they can do the Invincible season. They will win every single game and not lose a single game. Bayer Leverkusen. That is if they do beat Atalanta on Wednesday and then beat FC Kaiserslautern on the 25th of May in Berlin for Weihnacht Berlin. So, but yeah, that is basically about Bayer Leverkusen. Atalanta, on the other hand, like I said, it's like after they beat Liverpool 3-0 at Anfield, they've gone really good. In fact, they have only lost one game, and that is against Juventus in the Coppa Italia final. Now, that does mean that could be a bit of bad news there for Ledea, the fact that, well, they are coming into the final after a 1-0 loss. However, like I said, they've only lost 2 games prior to that Liverpool win, and that was obviously against Liverpool at the Giusi Stadium, and then Juventus at the Stadio Olimpico. So this is going to be a whole new surrounding there for Atalanta. This is the first ever time Atalanta are in a European final. It was only a couple of years ago when they made the European debut. So the fact that they are making their European domestic final right now is, well, really good. I mean, well done Ledea, well done Gian Piero Gasperini, the minds around it. Obviously, I know a lot of journalists, a lot of well-known journalists, think that he should go to a bigger club, Gian Piero Gasperini, because he has changed the course of the club entirely. Atalanta, a couple of years ago, was in Serie B. They were in Serie B in the 2010-11 season. Fast forward 13 years later, they are in the Europa League final, facing against Bayer Leverkusen. To be fair, I don't think Bayer Leverkusen would even believe it. They wouldn't believe that 10 years ago they would have a team that is formidable to win every single game. They wouldn't. But it's more of a miracle for Atalanta. Bayer Leverkusen, we always knew they were one of them that, well, do okay, but not do as good as we thought they would do. However, now they are a force to be reckoned with, Bayer Leverkusen. They are a force to be reckoned with, and they are a team, in fact, that can, well, do wonders. They can do wonders. They can win leagues. They can win titles. They can win trophies under Xabi Alonso, who, I don't know where he's going. I know he was linked for the Liverpool job, but Arne Slot has obviously taken that off him. So, yeah. Who knows what's going to happen? I think this will be a very good Europa League final, but who knows? But while I'm here, let me have a look at Atalanta's road to the UEFA Europa League. So this is a look at Ledea, at Atalanta BC's road to the final, the road to Dublin. So first of all, let's have a look at the first little thing where it did say they did finish first in Group E with 14 points. That was in a group with Sporting Lisbon, Sporting SC, Sturm Graz, and I believe Rakov Czestochowa. I could be wrong with that. I do remember Rakov Czestochowa being in it. I was right, actually. It was with Sporting Lisbon, Sturm Graz, and Rakov Czestochowa. And, yeah, I mean, to be fair, you knew they would do well anyway. Then let's have a look at the last 16. They did play against Sporting Lisbon, funnily enough. And they did draw 1-1 at the Jose Aldaverde. And then they did beat Sporting by 2-1, which meant because of that they were going through to the quarterfinals, and they would face arguably the toughest team in this Europa League, Liverpool. And we all know the firepower of Liverpool. We saw what they did to Sparta Prague. They absolutely destroyed Sparta Prague. So I'm pretty sure Jurgen Klopp's men were thinking, you know what, let's give him a bit of a send-off, let's win him a trophy, or let's win him at least an okay trophy. That happened, but that hope was diminished in 30 minutes. 60 minutes, more or less, when Gianluca Scamacca, a former West Ham player, just, well, did wonders for them. Gianluca Scamacca and Marko Pasalic finished the deal, more or less, as it did finish 3-0. That meant, well, they're not going to score 4, aren't they, Liverpool, at the Giusi Stadium? And no, they didn't. They did end up beating Atalanta, though, but only by 1, which meant Atalanta would be going through to the semi-finals, where they would face a very noisy Olympique de Marseille. Marseille, they were in the Conference League and a couple years ago, I think, and they played PAOK. But I think they won that Marseille, but they ended up losing in the semi-final. And ironically, they did lose to Arne Slot's Feyenoord, who will be, obviously, the new manager of Liverpool. So they did draw 1-1 there at the Orange Velodrome, at the Stade Velodrome, which will give Atalanta then a little bit more of a chance going into the second leg at the Giusi Stadium, and, well, they finished them off. They finished them off there 3-0. I believe it was Adeola Lookman who, well, had an absolute field day. He did score 1, joined with Elbela Torole and Matteo Ruggeri. But Adeola Lookman did have an absolute field day, got 8.2 according to SofaScore, which meant because of that, Atalanta going through to the first ever European final, which, well, I am sure Ledea fans will save this day. I mean, going to a foreign city for Europa League final for your first ever European silverware, it's something good, and that is what Atalanta and Gian Piero Gasperini's men can do on Wednesday, the 22nd of May, if they beat the mighty Bayer Leverkusen. Now, let's have a look, actually, at the current Invincible road to the final. So let's have a look, then, at Bayer Neverlosen, or in other words, Bayer Leverkusen, and the current Invincibles as of yet. They do only need to win 2 games, however, they do need to win against Atalanta on the 22nd of May, which will be this Wednesday, and then against FC Kaiserslautern on the 25th of May to consider themselves and to put themselves in football history, knowing to be the Invincibles. But first of all, let's have a look there at Group H. Let's have a look at their road to the final. So they did finish first in Group H with a maximum staggering 18 points, which, well, for them is impressive. So because of that, they did have to not play the playoff round. They got through to the last 16. And funnily enough, similar to Atalanta, they did have to play group opponents Karabakh. And, well, we do know about Karabakh. They were the first ever Azerbaijani club to qualify into this stage, the last 16 stage. So, fair play there to Karabakh. And, you know, they did well. I mean, at the first leg there in Baku, they did very well. They did draw 2-2. It was only because of 2 last-minute goals there for Bayer Leverkusen why they ended up drawing 2-2, because they played very, very well. It was a Patrick Schick goal in the 92nd minute that made them go through and play the second leg, knowing that they had a little bit of an easy advantage. It was, but I tell you what, it was very tight. It was very tight. It was 2-0 Karabakh going into the 71st minute. So that would mean it would have been 4-2 Karabakh, game over. Then Jeremy Frimpong scored in the 72nd minute to make it 4-3 to Karabakh. So then they still had a little bit of an advantage. In comes the man, the only, the Czech prince, Patrick Schick, as well. He completely did a checkmate on Karabakh's defence, didn't he? And then he scored in the 93rd and the 97th minute of the game, which made Bayer Leverkusen, Bayer Neverlosen, through to the quarter-finals, where they did have to face English side West Ham United. And ironically, this is a West Ham side that hasn't been particularly doing well under David Moyes. However, they knew the job was done when they won 2-0 at the Bayer Arena. They knew 2-0, we'll pretty much just relax going into the second leg. And to be fair, West Ham played very, very well. In the first half, West Ham averaged 10 shots on goal. Bayer Leverkusen, on the other hand, 0. Yeah, Bayer Leverkusen, on the other hand, didn't manage a single shot in the first half. Oh, well, they managed 1 shot in the first half. That, for a team that wanted to go unbeaten, isn't great. However, then, they ended up getting their shooting boots in the second half. As well, yet another last-minute goal by Jeremy Frimpong, well, sealed that draw and kept that unbeaten run going. Then they faced AS Roma at the San Siro. They did pretty much do light work past that Roma defence. I mean, Daniele De Rossi, it is obviously his first coaching job, but they just, well, they ran ragged over him. Florian Wirtz and Robert Andrich sealed the deal, more or less, as well. The second leg was pretty much them going into the Europa League final. However, yet again, they kept it late. Yet again, 2-0 down they were on the 81st minute. Florian Wirtz only came in there for Jonas Hoffmann because he wasn't really doing that great. Gianluca Mancini scored an own goal in the 82nd minute to make it 2-1 to Bayer Leverkusen. Are they really going to do it again? Are they going to turn into Bayer Neverlosen? Of course they are, as Josip Stanisic, the Bayern Munich loanee, scored a goal in the 97th minute, assisted by Granit Xhaka, to make them go through to the Europa League final. And they were already through anyway, but this means their unbeaten streak remains. And well, who knows, are we seriously going to see an unbeaten season from Bayer Leverkusen? Who knows? But let me tell you something, this what Xabi Alonso is cooking seems very, very promising. So then, we've had the road, we've had everything to talk about. Let's go to what my prediction will be. You know me, I am absolutely terrible at predictions. However, I have gotten a little bit better recently. So, obviously for this game, Bayer Leverkusen versus Atalanta, this will be a hard one to predict. I mean, bookies have Bayer Leverkusen odds-on favourites to win this. However, Atalanta, they're a very sneaky team. I mean, they're a team that underestimate a lot of people. Obviously, against Liverpool, nobody thought they would beat Liverpool. They beat them 3-0 at Anfield. No one thought Atalanta would beat Olympique de Marseille. Marseille, they ended up winning 3-0 at the Givas Stadium, which ultimately sent them into Dublin. So, they're a bit of an underdog type of team, Atalanta, and that is the label what La Dea want to be called for this game, because they know they can deal with pressure. They know that they can deal with the underdog status very, very well. So going here to Dublin, they will have that name, they will have that label under the cosh, thinking, hang on a minute, we are the underdogs here, let's give him a performance. However, when you are playing a team like Bayer Leverkusen, you know it's always going to be hard. And for a team that is currently at the Invincible stages at the minute, you know that that is one very, very hard task. So because of that, I am going to say Bayer Leverkusen will win the UEFA Europa League. I just feel like there for Leverkusen, they're too strong. Too strong. I mean, the defence of Jeremy Frimpong, they've just got stronger defence and all. The defence of Edwin Tapsoba, Jonathan Dart and Piero Incapié. It's a very, very good defence there from Leverkusen, what they do have. And I just think they do. I mean, they've got better goal scorers at the end of the day, Leverkusen. You've obviously got the likes of Patrick Schick, Florian Wirtz, Victor Boniface, who you all know are going to be players that will show up to the occasion. And when it is a European final, you know that they will show up. So I am going to say Bayer Leverkusen will win this game. However, it will be very tight. I am going to say it will be a 2-1 Bayer Leverkusen win. Obviously, we do know Leverkusen tend to habits of scoring in the last minute. I don't think they will score in the last minute. I think they will definitely score first, make it 1-0. But then I think La Dea will put one back. I think Gianluca Scamacca will get a goal to make it 1-1. And then I think to put a cherry on the icing there for the Ballon d'Or, I think Florian Wirtz will go and get a goal. I'm not saying Florian Wirtz will get the Ballon d'Or, but at the minute he is the 5th favourite to win it. And that is pretty impressive to say you're 5th favourites to win it when you are a Europa League team. But I think it's true. I think Leverkusen just have enough power there for Atalanta to deal with them. Atalanta, they can deal with it, but I don't know if they can deal against a team like Leverkusen and what Xabi Alonso is building. So that is my prediction. I am saying it will be a 2-1 Leverkusen win. Who knows what it'll be? Find out on Wednesday. And just like that then, I will get going. So if you did like that video, if you do say something you really mean a lot to me, but you don't have to, as I shall go, see you soon, stay safe, see you later, and see you on Wednesday for a potential live stream of the Europa League final. Don't miss that one, as I will go see you soon, stay safe, talking to you then in the next one. See ya, and bye-bye.